and was getting used to my classes. I went on a 3-day Camp Whitepine trip where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French subjects. I know, it sounds terrifying, but really isn't. Next semester I have English, gym, science, and drama. I've only been here for a month and a half, but so far I'm having fun and looking forward to the next 4 years.
So you think we should turn up the screen?
I'm glad I decided to stay in the extended French program, and I hope that you will too. Do I keep talking or?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get to practice.
There you go. See, it's a benefit. No, no parenting.
Aussi, je suis dans le programme de français.
Keep going.
Je suis dans le programme de français intensif et le programme de baccalauréat international. Je suis allée à l'école élémentaire de St. Thomas More. Maintenant, je vais changer en anglais pour mieux comprendre. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm in grade 9 here at Michael Power St. Joseph's. I am in the extended French program and the international baccalaureate program. I went to St. Thomas More Elementary School and I started the extended French program in grade 5 like many of you.
We're hearing whatever they're doing over there, right there.
No, keep going.
But it's very static.
A year ago, do I keep talking?
Keep talking.
Yeah.
A year ago, I came to Michael Power St. Joseph's open house night and learned about how I can continue the extended French program and also apply to be an IB student. MPSJ had all the things I wanted to do, and it was the perfect fit for me. When I started only a month ago, I only knew 3 other people. In only a couple of days, I have met many people, was starting to figure out my way around the school, and was getting used to my classes. I went on a 3-day Camp Whitepine trip where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester, I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French, which I know sounds terrifying, but really isn't.
Why does he have that computer?
Do I take it off or?
Michael. Stop. Come back. Hold on. Oh, that. Yes. Sarah, can you talk?
When I started only a month ago, I only knew 3 other people. In only a couple of days, I met many new students, was starting to figure out my way around the school, and was getting used to my classes. I went on a 3-day Camp Whitepine trip where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester, I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French subjects, which I know sounds terrifying, but really isn't. Next semester, I have English, gym, science, and drama. I've only been here for a month and a half, so far.
No choice, you gotta come in. Keep going.
But so far, I'm having fun and looking forward to the next 4 years. I'm glad I decided to stay in the extended French program, and I hope that you will too.
Sarah, can you keep talking?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sophie Rollins et je suis dans le programme et je suis dans la 9e année ici à Michael Power St. Joseph's. Aussi, je suis dans le programme de français intensif et le programme de baccalauréat international. Je suis allée à l'école élémentaire de St. Thomas More. Maintenant, je vais changer en anglais pour mieux comprendre. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm in grade 9 here at Michael Power St. Joseph's. I'm in the extended French program and the international baccalaureate program. I went to St. Thomas More Elementary School and I started the extended French program in grade 5 like many of you. A year ago I came to Michael Power St. Joseph's Open House Night and learned about how I could continue the extended French program and also apply to be an IB student. MPSJ had all the things I wanted to do and it was the perfect fit for me. When I started only a month ago, I only knew 3 other people. In only a couple of days, I had met many new other grade 9s, was starting to figure out my way around the school, and was getting used to my classes. I went on a 3-day Camp White Pine trip where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester, I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French subjects. Sophie Robbins et je suis dans la 9e année ici à Michael Power St. Joseph's. Aussi, je suis dans le programme de français intensif et le programme de baccalauréat international. Je suis allée à l'école élémentaire du St. Thomas More. Maintenant, je vais changer à l'anglais pour vous mieux comprendre. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm in grade 9 here at Michael Power St. Joseph's. I'm in the Extended French program and the International Baccalaureate program. I went to St. Thomas More Elementary School, and I started the Extended French program in grade 5 like many of you. A year ago, I came to Michael Power St. Joseph's Open House Night and learned about how I could continue the Extended French program and also apply to be an IB student. MPSJ had all of the things that I wanted to do, and it was the perfect fit for me. When I started only a month ago, I only knew 3 other people. In only a couple of months, I had met many new students, was starting to figure out my way around the school, and was getting used to my classes. I went on a 3-day Camp White Pine trip, where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester, I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French subjects, which I know sounds terrifying, but really isn't. Next semester, I have English, gym, science, and drama. I have only been here for a month and a half, but so far I'm having fun and looking forward to the next 4 years. I'm glad I decided to stay in the Extended French program, and I hope that you will too.
Power saver.
Do I keep?
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Bonjour, je m'appelle Sophie Robbins et je suis dans la 9e année ici à Michael Power St. Joseph's. Aussi, je suis dans le programme de français intensif et le programme de baccalauréat international. Je suis allée à l'école élémentaire du St. Thomas More. Maintenant, je vais changer à l'anglais pour vous mieux comprendre. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm in grade 9 here at Michael Power St. Joseph's. I'm in the Extended French program and the International Baccalaureate program. I went to St. Thomas More Elementary School and I started the Extended French program in grade 5 like many of you.
Check at the back. Watch out. Is that ready? What do you mean? Projector. Okay. Is this, what are we putting on this?
Good?
What are we putting on this? They can turn on any side. Turn it on? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. When you push me, you want me to plug this into? Alright, where's the paint? Yeah, no. Oh, I'm actually just a sick guy. It's still not working, eh? I know. Michael, can you go check this one, please? No, but I mean, it would be clearer if he was able to run out of that, into that, and then into that. It turned off? Seriously?
We didn't touch anything.
I know you didn't. Okay. So,
He's in ultra power here. The mic is over here. It's big fat. Okay, so just
as much as you can, okay?
when somebody talks, obviously I'll do one. Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't keep them off. So say bad, say bad. Alright, how do I turn it on?
Okay. The button here. And you push the white button. Hold on. Sir?
Okay.
They're able to hear it. So it's good. Yeah, and I can hear our conversation. Yeah? Okay. Alright, we're good. We know that's what it's supposed to do. Right.
Last thing. Come with me.
They're all on. Alright, so here's the thing, okay? If this one dies, okay? This one dies, or it might, I think the other ones are going to be fine. Then move this camera and zoom it in, okay? The zoom is here, alright?
Where, sorry?
The zoom is here.
Okay.
Good evening, parents and future graduates of 2023. We would like to open our evening in the same way we begin every school day with the national anthem and prayer. Let me now draw your attention to Ms. Foley, one of our dedicated music teachers, and the students from the MPSJ Orchestra, who will lead us in the anthem. Please stand. I would like to invite our chaplain, Ms. Nadeo, to the podium to introduce our two peer ministry students.
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to begin by thanking all of you for joining us this evening. This is an important evening for you and your families, a big decision to be made. I want to tell you a little bit about what we do in chaplaincy and the whole premise of this school. We're built on two organizations, the Sisters of St. Joseph, whose motto you'll see in the form is, "The love of Christ has brought us into one." And we firmly believe that here at Michael Power St. Joseph. We are a family. Your kids, the staff here, we spend a great deal of hours together and we become family. You'll see that as you spend time with us. And the other founding organization are the Basilian Fathers, and their motto is, "Teach us goodness, discipline, and knowledge." And your kids already come to us with those values instilled. We just continue with that here. The greatest blessing that we have at Michael Power, in my opinion, are the students here. We work with the best of the best. They're great kids to start with, and they only get better as the 4 years progress. Having said that, I have two of the most amazing kids. Well, we have so many, so I can't just center them out, but these are two of the finest. They work with us in peer ministry. They're part of our executive team, and I'm so proud to introduce them. Amy Matthew and David Nguyen. So please.
Let us begin in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God of the universe, On this night, we are reminded that life changes. We are reminded that nothing stands still and that nothing remains the same in your plan for creation. On this night, we gather and we realize that children grow and seek wings of their own. Grant, Lord God, creator of the universe, that these young men and women among us this evening be able to make the choices that reflect our love for them.
Grant that their goodness be a reflection by which you formed us. Grant that their compassion be a model of your Son's self-giving. Grant that the light they bring to our community be given freely as it was given through us, through your Spirit. We pray this through our brother, your Son, Jesus. Saint Joseph and Saint Basil, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Amy and David. Please allow me to extend a very warm welcome to everyone here this evening. My name is Stephanie Harkwell, and I am a guidance counselor here at MPSJ. Let me be the first of many who will thank you for taking the time and making the effort to join us this evening to learn about our wonderful school. Our student volunteers and our staff are hoping to give you a little snapshot of the distinct community that is Michael Power High School. To the parents and guardians that are here this evening, I would like you to know your presence speaks clearly of your active interest and involvement in your sons' and daughters' futures. You are, after all, your child's first teachers. As a representative of my colleagues, I cannot stress enough how highly we value your support and involvement in your child's academic future. To the potential graduates of 2023 who join us here tonight, you and I actually have something in common. I'm embarrassed to say this in front of a room of 400 people. 29 years ago, I sat with my parents at Michael Power's open house. I never imagined at 13 that one day I'd be at this podium addressing potential students and their families. And parents, tonight I share something in common with you too. Both my sons are here tonight. One exploring his future, and the other as a second-generation Michael Power student. As you tour our halls, I hope you discover the rich history that is the backbone of our community. I would like to begin this evening's program by inviting our principal, Ms. Rosemary Rossetti, to speak. We are so fortunate to have such an experienced, dedicated, and caring individual as the leader of our school. Ms. Rossetti is a Michael Power St. Joseph graduate herself and has the very distinct honor of being the first female principal of Michael Power St. Joseph. Ms. Rossetti.
Thank you so much. And you're going to hear some of the themes over and over again, and I think that's because we all think alike, because we do spend so much time together. So good evening, students and families. I'm so honored to welcome you here this evening to our Grade 8 open house at Michael Power St. Joseph High School. On behalf of the staff and students, welcome to our home. Yes, this is our home. This is where we live. Here we work together, we learn about life's possibilities, and we share our stories as we become family. This is an evening for you to get a glimpse of what goes on within the walls on a regular basis. For us, it is an opportunity to celebrate our community. And as Ms. Harkwell pointed out, for me personally, this is a very special home. I won't say how many years ago. Ms. Harkwell had the courage, I don't. But as a young girl, I was where you are today, making a choice about coming to MPSJ. So from my little Catholic elementary school, this is where I came to learn about the world. From my peers and teachers here, I learned about love of knowledge, math, literature, French. I learned to love public speaking, writing, drama, and to be perfectly honest, to love football, where we enjoyed pep rallies and Friday night lights, watching our friends play on the field. I was taught by Father Redmond and Father James, Father Moen celebrated the first Mass that I ever attended. If you've ever heard Father Moen speak, you would understand why I still remember to this day that powerful homily he gave to take up the challenge and be the best we could be. So many years later, many of the strong traditions of the past remain, and new ones are born every day. But that is only because of the dedicated support of the staff here. Michael Power St. Joseph is grounded in the vision of the Basilian Fathers and Sisters of St. Joseph who founded us. This is a powerful statement of mission. Think about a community that actually makes decisions based on the model of the Sisters of St. Joseph. The love of Christ has gathered us into one. And the Basilian motto, teach me goodness, discipline, and knowledge. These are the very precepts that I sought out for my own 4 sons, and what I wanted for them, I want for every student in this school. The Basilians teach us that goodness, discipline, and knowledge can be taught, and that is the mission that we set for ourselves daily. Goodness. What else would we want for our children, for our students? What would be the point of discipline and knowledge without it? Brendan Shanahan, president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, who attended Michael Power as a student, had 2 words for our students when he spoke to them at our academic awards ceremony in June. Nice wins. In all his experience, this was his message, that people who are nice actually do better in life. The qualities of goodness, discipline, and knowledge permeate the building every day. They begin with the staff, the teachers, custodians, educational assistants, child and youth workers, secretaries, and student supervisors that you see pictured behind me on the screen. This is my 5th year at the school, and I'm humbled and inspired by the consistent effort of staff members to support students wherever they are in their journey. And that's why we have amazing programs and activities at this school. In our course selections, teachers here have worked very hard to develop and offer different pathways or programs to meet the needs of our students. We offer 2 specialist programs that start in grade 11, one in sports and one in health and wellness. Officially, they are called Specialist High Skills Major, or SHSM program. But what they are for the regular student who is passionate about learning deeply about either of these 2 areas. Each of these specialist programs offers a series of in-class and cooperative education courses designed to provide authentic learning experiences. This month alone, I know I signed permission forms for our students to go to Waterloo University to study at the Cadaver Lab, and then to go to Cedar Glen, where they will learn about aspects of leadership. They will work towards certification in standard first aid, AED, and infection control. They might select to get their boating license or leadership certificate. The possibilities are wide and varied, and most important, they are guided by our teachers. You can find out more about that program in the main gym after the presentation. Our co-op program supports the SHSM, but is also for any student who is applied and is accepted. Our co-op teachers work tirelessly to procure outstanding placements. We currently have students placed in the neonatal health at Mount Sinai and sick kids, at the breast center at St. Mike's Hospital, and in the emergency room at St. Joseph's Health Center. Talk about authentic learning opportunity for a budding healthcare practitioner. You can ask a student after the presentation to lead you to the co-op office if you want more information. Our French Extended and French Enriched programs for course students receive regular acclaim in the awards our students win. Our team of French teachers is superb. They regularly prepare students to write the International Baccalaureate exams, but really all of our French extended students are ready for third-year university French when they graduate here. There is so much to say about our music program, our arts, and our ComTech programs, led by teachers who are masters in the field, and you see demonstrated here tonight. And of course, our celebrated International Baccalaureate program. I'm not going to go into depth about it here because there will be a presentation following, but I am going to say that if you want to study with like-minded students in a comprehensive program that is premised in goodness, discipline, and knowledge, you should consider this opportunity. If you are a highly motivated student, don't fret that it's too hard or that you have to be an expert in all subject areas to get through. You don't. Our teachers will guide you through. They have the experience and the know-how, and they will make sure that you get where you need to be. I would like to note that every member of the school community benefits from the skill and resources procured for the IB program. For one small example, we have purchased equipment for a DNA testing lab, superior to that in some universities. While it's essential to the IB program, our students in our regular academic science classes benefit as well, as they have the opportunity to extract DNA, an opportunity not available in most schools because of the prohibitive costs. You can also imagine the benefits of having internationally trained teachers working in every department and sharing their knowledge. We can feel it and we see it in the expertise in all of our departments. We also are fortunate to have a very strong guidance department with their finger on the pulse of what students need academically. Last night, our guidance department hosted a college-university fair. Like every task they take on, they had over 45 colleges and universities and was attended by hundreds of students, many from neighboring schools and boards. Our Learning Commons is also led by dedicated educators, Mr. Rowe and Mr. Dessaw. Anthony Dessaw offers his expertise as a nationally acclaimed author and prestigious book award nominee. They not only provide meaningful and updated electronic collections, they instruct and collaborate with the IB coordinators in new approaches to learning. Together, they strive to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people with understanding and respect. I have to cut out half my speech because I really could go on and on about our staff here. Our students are the recipients of the goodness, and they follow suit. They run clubs, activities, mentor each other, they lead our numerous social justice initiatives, and they are always looking to do more. In short, they are, in Mr. Shanahan's terms, nice. And we know from hearing about them that they do go far. It's actually astounding when you look at the number of programs and activities here. So when you look at your brochure and you see 57 clubs and 39 sports, that tells you that teachers are modeling goodness in the hours of dedication beyond the school day. You can see how having good people work together for our common good breeds discipline and knowledge in every area of endeavor. It shows in our champion robotics team, our accounting students who won first, second, and third in the board, and first, fourth, and 10th in the province. Our cheerleading won national cheer competition. Led by our award-winning drumline leader, our drumline was featured in a Volkswagen commercial and marches regularly in parades, including the Santa Claus parade. In our athletics, it feels like we're celebrating a new win every week. Last year, we started to write down our drive for 500 athletic champions in the history of the school, and last year we met that goal with the tennis championship. You can see the pennants lining the forum and the gym walls. This year, TCDSB has shown recognition of the outstanding athletic program at MPSJ by entering into partnership with a private company to build a more than $1.5 million state-of-the-art FIFA standard soccer field and football field. It will be enjoyed by our phys ed classes during the day and our teams after school. It will be a highlight, and if you would like to see it, the lights are on this evening. Days before I started here as principal this fall, a former teacher of mine, now a good friend, contacted me to congratulate me. Did you ever think that little girl in a kilt would be where you are today? No, I never would have imagined it. Grade 8 students, you don't know what the future will hold for you, but here at Michael Power St. Joseph, we see our role as having to nurture your dreams to get you where you want to be. Michael Power St. Joseph High School is the home of scholars and champions. It says so on our school walls. That description does not apply to an elite few. It is meant to fit every student who dares to follow his or her passion and take advantage of the many opportunities here. If you choose the Michael Power St. Joseph experience, I can tell you that you will be in the most caring and dedicated hands of teachers who themselves are accomplished scholars, artists, and athletes who have followed their passions. Dear students, we know you have many wonderful options in terms of high school. Take a look around and see if you think that Michael Power St. Joseph could be a home for you. Whatever your choice, I wish you well in your discernment. May God bless you in your decision making. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rossetti. At this point, I'd like to introduce these two lovely gentlemen on the stage, our vice principals, Mr. Martin Cook and Mr. Stanley Malik. Mrs. Sheila Gilkinson is also our vice principal. She happens to be absent this evening. Each member of this team works tirelessly to foster our Catholic community and ensure that each student has every opportunity to achieve excellence. As teachers at Michael Power, we are most proud of our students. Their academic achievements are impressive, but it is their service and their depth of spirit that is most striking. Now I would ask that two students, Alvin Stanislaw and Mademoiselle Sophie Robinson, come forward to speak to you about their experiences as Michael Power students.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sophie Robbins et je suis dans la 9e année ici à Michael Power St. Joseph's. Aussi, je suis dans le programme de français intensif et le programme de baccalauréat international. Je suis allée à l'école élémentaire de St. Thomas More. Maintenant, je vais changer l'anglais pour vous mieux comprendre. Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm in grade 9 here at Michael Power St. Joseph's. I'm in the Extended French program and the International Baccalaureate program. I went to St. Thomas More Elementary School, and I started the Extended French program in grade 5, like many of you. A year ago, I came to Michael Power St. Joseph's Open House Night and learned about how I could continue the Extended French program and also apply to be an IB student. MPSJ had all the things that I wanted to do, and it was the perfect fit for me. When I started only a month ago, I only knew 3 other people. In only a couple of days, I had met many new classmates, was starting to figure out my way around the school, and was getting used to my classes. I went on the 3-day Camp White Pine trip, where I participated in lots of fun activities and met lots of new people. This semester, I have math, geography, French, and religion, 3 of which are French subjects. I know, sounds terrifying. It really isn't. Next semester, I have English, gym, science, and drama. I've only been here for a month and a half, but so far I'm having fun and looking forward to the next 4 years. I'm glad I decided to stay in the Extended French program, and I hope that you will too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie. Good evening, everyone. I I understand that you guys have been sitting for quite some time, and I'd like to give you guys an opportunity soon to experience the school for yourselves and get to visit all the wonderful things you've been hearing about. So I'll try to keep this to the point. My name is Alvin Stanislaus, and I'm a member of Student Council here at Michael Power. And as corny as this may sound, and as repetitive, I also remember sitting where you guys were just over 4 years ago, and wondering whether I'd be attending the school. And so I was listening to someone like me, standing up here, talking about what they loved about the school and what was going on around here. And I also remember thinking that I would never, ever be standing in front of this many people talking about anything. And we saw how that went. But why I thought that was because, unlike many of my friends now, I didn't attend a feeder school like Power. I came here from Mississauga and I didn't know anybody coming to grade 9. So fast forward 4 years. The biggest change that changed me from who I was then to who I am now, besides growing a couple inches, is my involvement here at the school. So as I mentioned just a little earlier, I'm a member of Student Council here, and I'm also a member of the Peer Ministry Exec team, so alongside David and Amy, who said the prayer to you guys just a little while ago. I'm also a supervisor in the weight room, and I'm an executive member of the SHISM program here at the school. And for those of you in the front row, and for those of you in the back, I'm also wearing an IB pin. I'm also a member of the IB program here at the school. So whenever I talk about IB or Student Council or any of those things, the biggest question I get asked is, how are you balancing all these things with your academics? And my answer always is, well, it's me doing all these things that helps me balance everything. Now that might sound a little confusing, so let me explain. Say I've got a Student Council meeting tomorrow morning. That means that I've got to get all my homework done and out of the way, and I've actually got to get some sleep. So my passion for all these activities, for all these clubs, for all these groups, it's what helps me succeed and helps me thrive in the IB program, and the SHISM program, and just here at the school. And one of the mottos we have here, and you guys might become familiar with when you attend Camp White Pine, is no deposit, no return. And what that basically means is the more you put in, the more you're getting out. So by joining clubs like Student Council or Peer Ministry or fitness, you get more out of your high school experience. And trust me when I say that coming in at 8:30 every morning and leaving at 2:30, that's not the high school experience. Everything from 2:30 onwards, that's the high school experience. So that means doing your homework. That means hanging out with your friends. That means joining a bunch of clubs and teams. And I give you guys an opportunity after this, on your tours, to visit the cafeteria. In the cafeteria, we've got a setup with a majority of our bigger clubs and teams and representatives of each of those clubs and teams. And they're more than happy to answer any of your questions about, say, fitness or Student Council or anything that interests you or your children. And so, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and more than that, I hope that you attend Power next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Alvin and Sophie. I'm sure many of you here are interested in the application and admission process, so I'd like to invite Mr. Clough to speak on this subject.
Thank you, Ms. Hartwell. So with regard to admissions procedures, we want to ensure that the process is as simple as possible for you and your child, and that you protect your right to a placement in your home school. Grade 8 teachers will direct students to their home school. Having said this, it's important that you complete the application according to the following guidelines, as space is limited at Michael Power St. Joseph. It's important to note that the admissions process varies according to your current situation. This evening, I will speak briefly about the following situations. Firstly, students applying from a TCDSB elementary school, including students for whom MPSJ is their home school and students for whom MPSJ is not their home school. I'll also speak about students applying from a non-TCDSB elementary school. And lastly, I'll speak about students applying to a specialty program, meaning our IB program. If you're applying from a TCDSB school, grade 8 teachers will help you to fill out the secondary school application form. Signed applications will be due to the TCD admissions department by November 5th, 2018. If Michael Power St. Joseph High School is your home school, you will be offered a placement here as long as you select it as your first choice. Students who select another school as their first choice will forfeit their spot at Michael Power St. Joseph's. You need to know this because if you don't get into the other school that you've chosen as your first choice, you will be redirected to schools where there are spaces available. And this will not necessarily be MPSJ, as space is limited here. On a related note, for those students applying to MPSJ, but for whom MPSJ is not their home school, you should save your place at your home school by putting it as the first choice on your application. Students from outside our catchment area who select Michael Power St. Joseph High School as their first choice on the application form are not guaranteed a spot at the school. Decisions regarding admissions are based on proximity to the school. Students in the TCDSB who have a sibling at Michael Power St. Joseph who is currently in grades 9 to 11 will be offered admission to the school. Please make sure to indicate this on your application forms. For students applying to Michael Power from schools outside of the TCDSB, all students who do not attend a TCDSB elementary school must fill out a secondary school waiting list application form. And while it is called a waiting list application, in reality, it is simply an application to apply to our school board. This form will be available on our website as of November 1st, 2018, along with all of the other admission information. It will also be posted on the TCDSB website in the admissions department beginning the first week of November. Waiting list applications should be returned directly to the TCDSB starting the week of November 5th, 2018. The Admissions and Placement Department at the Board will place all interested applicants on our waiting list. Students from outside of the TCDSB may apply to one school only. Decisions regarding acceptance to the regular program will be based on proximity to the school. And students who live in Toronto and have a sibling at Michael Power St. Joseph High School, currently in grades 9 to 11, will be accepted to the school. This rule, however, does not apply to students who reside outside of Toronto. Lastly, for students applying to specialty programs, meaning Michael Power St. Joseph's IB program, acceptance to the IB program will be based on the application process as outlined by our IB coordinator. Students from feeder schools who wish to apply to other specialty programs in the TCDSB should save their place at Michael Power St. Joseph by selecting it as their first choice on the application form. If they do not, they give up their place at the school, even if they are not accepted to the other specialty program. The following elementary schools are considered feeder schools of Michael Power St. Joseph High School: All Saints, Father Sarah, St. Gregory, Our Lady of Peace, St. Clement, Mother Cabrini, Nativity of our Lord, St. Marcellus, Joseph Cardinal Slippe, St. Eugene, and Transfiguration. Students applying to IB from other TCDSB schools should also save their place at their home school by selecting it first. For students applying to the IB program from non-TCDSB schools, in addition to the waiting list application, students must apply through the application process as set out by our IB coordinator. Acceptance to the IB program will be based on the application process, and students will be notified of acceptance by Monday, December 10th, 2018, by way of a letter of acceptance. So while I began my presentation by saying I'll make this as simple as possible, it might seem fairly complicated at this point, but I will be available in the main office following the presentation should you have any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clem. Sometimes we don't recognize the impact of our decisions, but it seems only in retrospect that we can identify the profound effect that a particular person had on us, that we see the value of a goal we set or a challenge we met head-on rather than back away. The decisions you are making tonight could become one of those pivotal and defining moments in your life. Therefore, this evening, we open our school to you and encourage you to ask questions of our student ambassadors, teachers, and administration. Our hope is that you are inspired to join us in this phenomenal experience that is Michael Power St. Joseph. As you exit the auditorium this evening, there will be student ambassadors throughout the school to help direct you to various curriculum areas. On behalf of my colleagues tonight, I'd like to thank you. It was our distinct pleasure to speak to you this evening and reveal why Michael Power truly is the home of scholars and champions. Thank you for your time and attention, and have a wonderful evening. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are interested in the IB presentation, it will begin in 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. It's not even really broadcasting yet? Yes, we're done.